This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, January the 27th. Please stand for our invocation by Dr. Dan Taylor, Public Safety Chaplain, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray together. Lord, we humble ourselves in your presence today, and we ask you, Lord, to hear and answer our prayer. We ask you, Lord, to abundantly bless those who've chosen to lead and serve in our city, especially those who have been recently elected. Give them wisdom and insight to lead in a way that is best for our city and that brings honor to you. Lord, we ask for your guidance in our conversation, all that we say and do as we discuss issues and make decisions today. As the Apostle Paul wrote into the Colossian church, I pray that you would clothe us with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Lord, as always, we ask you to care for our police officers, our firefighters, and other first responders that protect and serve the citizens of our city. They serve long hours, many times working while others sleep. They ensure that we have peace and safety. Give them unusual wisdom and the skill that they need to serve you. And Lord, give them your protection as they faithfully fulfill their responsibilities, oftentimes in very dangerous situations. And Lord, we must not stop praying for the wisdom that we desperately need to find solutions to the problem of senseless violence throughout our city. Lord, we need your guidance. We need your solutions. And we need your protection. And Lord, we would even be so bold to ask that you transform the hearts of those who engage in violence. Thank you for hearing our prayer, Lord. We ask this and all of this in the name of the one who said he came to serve, not be served. Thank you. Amen.
Roll call. President Small.
Here.
Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Ingram.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Woods.
Here.
Statement of rules.
And good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see everyone this morning. Welcome to our council meeting. At this meeting, we do have rules. At this time, I ask if anyone have any type of electronic device, including cell phones, please at this time, put it on the off or the vibrate position, the off or the vibrate position. Any person that is desiring to address the Mobile City Council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must give his or her name. Any person that desires to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk office no later than 2:00 p.m. the Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject that he or she wishes to express to the Mobile City Council must be identified and pertain to the city of Mobile business. Anyone who has not given proper notice to the city clerk office and wishes to speak on a non-agenda item will not be allowed to address this council. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to address this council. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 2 minutes. 1 minute remains for summarizing. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, there will be no personal address to any individual council members. All statements are to be made to the chair, who will recognize any council member who wishes to respond. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause or public outcry allowed. Madam Clerk.
Communications from Mayor Chirigatis.
Good morning. The mayor is traveling to the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C. this morning, so there will be no report from the mayor's office. Thank you.
Monthly finance report.
Good morning. Good morning. So this is the monthly financial report for the period ending December 31st, 25. If you flip to page 1, we'll start out with the middle column, and current period earnings for December is $10.4 million. If you look at the far right-hand column, that brings the total fund balance to $152 million. The reserve fund, which you're aware of, is $64.4 million, and which takes us to the operating balance for general fund at $87.6 million. We move to page 2. We can look at sales tax for the month. $22.2 million. Year-to-date actuals, $57.6 million. Year-to-date budget is $213.3 million. Let me go over a little bit of a change that occurred for FY26. In past, when you looked at the financial statements, we actually had a column for a monthly budget. So that is one thing that changed for FY26. We're actually not doing like monthly budgeting. We're actually doing annual budgeting. So you're not going to have that column. So what we will base off of whether we're on track for the month or for the year is on the year-to-date budget variance. So right now we're a quarter way through of the fiscal year. So for revenue, we want to see that to be at least 25% to know that we're on track. Currently, for sales tax, we're at 27.1%. If you move to page 3, we'll look at business license revenue. Monthly actual is $768,604. Year-to-date actual is $1,539,399. The budget for the year for business license and permits is $55.5 million. Year-to-date, 2.77%, and I'll explain that. So as you know, our business license revenue comes in January. It's due by January 31st annually. So our big months are going to be January and February. So this looks low, but it's only because we haven't done January yet. So when we do the financials in February for January, you'll be able to kind of see where we're at as far as business license revenues. You move to page 4, we can look at total revenues. For the month, $36.1 million, with a year-to-date actual at $89.2 million, with a year-to-date budget for $379.6 million. So that total, if you look at percentage-wise, is 23.5. So it is a little bit down to what we would like it to be for total. We would want it to be 25%. So on page 5, we start looking at expenses. If we want to look at total, on page 7 at the bottom, we can look at total departmental expenses. And for the expenses, we want that to show, when we look at the year-to-date available budget, or excuse me, the year-to-date variance, we want that to be below 25%. So our monthly actual for total departmental is $18.2 million. Our year-to-date actual is $44.9 million, with a year-to-date budget of $282.9 million. Year-to-date variance is your percentage is 15.9, so we are below that 25%. Then the last page, if you look at the bottom, our net income for the month, again, is $10.4 million. with a year-to-date net income of $11 million. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. I know this is a little bit definitely different than what you're used to seeing. It is something that has been different for us as well. We had to change up the financial statements completely because we went to annual budgeting versus monthly budgeting. So I know it's new to y'all as well.
Any questions coming from this council?
Mr. President, I have a question regarding page 3 in terms of monthly versus annual.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for sharing the expected variance. That helps. So when you talk about the revenue and stating that majority is going to come in January and February, so what should we anticipate as the expected year-to-date budget variance percentage when you're expecting most of it in January and February?
So yes, ma'am, you're going to see that number. So that percentage will increase each month, obviously. So right now we're 3 months in, so that's 25%. So as each month goes, that percentage is going to change. So we're going to see, that increase in what that percentage should be. So yes, you're going to see you should see a huge jump in that percentage.
Right.
So most likely you're going to see, you would hope to see that probably almost, I would say 80%.
Okay, that's what I was expecting. If you're saying January, February, the major months,
That's correct.
then we should see something upward of 80%.
That's
And
correct.
then as new companies and new revenue, we'll see it increase slightly, but majority.
Or majority of it
January,
is
February.
January, February.
Okay, thank you
Yes,
for
ma'am.
that expected.
Sure,
variance.
sure.
Mr. President,
Reynolds.
this is substantially different than what we've done in the past. Why are we moving to this annual look versus month to month?
So that was a decision made this last year, and it was, my understanding is that it was made for a variety of reasons. One specifically being that the software that we use, which is Tyler Munis, really wasn't designed to do monthly budgeting, and it actually it caused some issues with putting the budget together because it couldn't calculate some of the payroll data correctly. This actually doing it annually is a lot less work on the staff, and it just does make the budget process move smoother.
But on the expense side, say for example, stormwater, it says that we've spent 2.73% of the money. Am I to assume that we didn't provide 22.27% of services that should have been provided? If we use the number of 25%?
So I will say that, so are you looking at a revenue line item or are you
I'm looking at an
expense
expense
line item?
line item.
So it just depends on, a lot of times it depends on when the expense comes in. So for instance, I'll give you a really good example. You could look at, say for instance, the police department. They typically order, have a big order for like cameras and things like that during the summer months. So we have to keep in mind of that so that, you're going to see like maybe a jump on that month, that particular month, because that's just an annual type thing and that's when it actually hits. So you're going to see from, 1 month to the next. But anything that you have questions about, like specifically, please let us know. We'll be glad to dig down into those numbers and get you that information.
I just have a struggle with being able to see, where there's an issue with doing it this way. That, when we look at our budget on a monthly basis, we should be able to see what was done that month, what money was spent that month. And if we're just going to really measure it based on a 25 percentage points is what we should be spending to stay on budget because we're looking at it annually, it doesn't give us very good line of sight to that. So we don't know when a problem exists because we're looking at it annually.
So I will tell you with doing monthly budgeting, so the way that worked is what most departments did is they took their, say for instance, a line item for, say, office supplies. they would have taken that line item and divided it by 12, and then they would have put whatever that number is for each month. So to me, that's not being accurate as far as like doing monthly budgeting. So, I mean, so for like maybe the finance department or other departments that are really looking at their budget, you know, they would budget accordingly. So for instance, like the police department, they knew that they were going to spend that $2.3 million on cameras or whatever the dollar amount is during June. So they would budget that line item for that month. But most departments would not do that. Most departments would take their annual budget, divide it by 12, and then spread it out over the 12 months. So really, even though we were attempting to do monthly budgeting, truly we were not.
So this could end up in a situation where we're at the end of the year and the last 2 months we can't spend any money if we're going to make the budget because we don't have line of sight to our expense monthly.
So you will be seeing, we will be tracking every month as we have been. So you will see the financials and you will see based off of, now what you can look at too is we do have the prior year monthly actuals listed. So you can actually compare to the previous year's monthly. So that can actually kind of give you a guideline as to where we were last year during this period. So that is some information that'll be helpful as far as that goes as well. But the idea is that we keep the departments on track and make sure that they are monitoring their budget and we're monitoring their budget to make sure that doesn't happen. And we're always very, at the end of the fiscal year, we're always try to let the departments know it's very important. Just because you think there's money or there's money left in your budget, you still need to be thinking about, hey, you know, we may need that money for future expenses. So let's just don't spend money just because we have money left in the budget.
Thank you.
Mr. President. Thank you so much for coming down and sharing the monthly report. You stated that with the MPD, how they set theirs up, you kind of know prior to June that it's going to look a little different. You know, it's a big amount of money that's going to come out at the time. Have we done that with requests there from other departments? So it's just kind of be prepared, like kind of going forward. Like you just said, you know, for permits this time, it's a little lower because that's in December. So January, we know the number is going to be higher. Have we done that across the other departments to be prepared for that?
So we've always done that with the departments as far as, you know, as they were doing their budgets, we did ask them to try to do their budgets that way. You know, if you knew that you had expected costs during a particular time, that to make sure that you did that. But like I said, a lot of departments, they would just take that total budget number and divide it by 12. And then, so it didn't reflect truly, you know, monthly budgeting.
So now, you said we had asked in the past, but they still kind of did it like dividing by 12. Are we now in that place where in this term that there are like lease providing and say, okay, the month, we kind of can see that in this particular month, with similar to MPD, is going to be a little higher. So are they doing it now currently?
So now we're doing annual budgeting. So part of the budget process will be, as we meet with the departments to create the budget, is to make sure that we're going over with them, you know, all the things they expect moving forward, so that we're on track. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna do something that we typically haven't done before, and that's meet with the departments more regularly. We're gonna meet with them quarterly so that we can discuss budget needs. And so as we're planning for the new budget in 27, we're also looking in 28 and moving forward, because we want to stay on top of, you know, what their needs are, and that we can really plan way in ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because just similar to the permit, what you just stated, you know, somebody was just looking at it and then have the knowledge that in January, the numbers go up in
That's
January,
correct.
February, then you'll get nervous. Oh, what's going on? What's taking place? But if we know ahead of time, like, okay,
That's right.
it's going to look a little different in July. It's going to look a little different right here in September because of these reasons, that we all can kind of be on alert. But thank you so much for
Yeah,
letting me
so, and I think that's the reason why this is so important, that we have, you know, these finance reports every month. We'll be doing that obviously moving forward. And so we can provide you that information so that you're not caught off guard. So you know, if there is something that's upcoming, so you can be expecting it.
All right, thank you.
Any other council members?
Mr. President, I do just want to go back to what Mr. Reynolds shared. If you go to page 7, you shared with us the total departmental,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's at 15% now. And so when you look at that, you would assume if we stay with that trend, you know, that we're going to have funding that we can reallocate for additional needs and so forth. I guess my question to you is that, is there a way for us to know that embedded within these departments, there's a time period that there's going to be a huge variance as opposed to the monthly average that we're looking at here?
So I think that you can look at the prior year monthly actual, because that's going to give you a good reflection for previous years. A lot of what we do and expenses that we have are, you know, happen each year. So you'll be able to look at those numbers and kind of see how we compare to the previous year's monthly. And then, of course, like I said, if we have specific expenses that you need to be aware of, we'll definitely make sure you're aware of it.
Right. Just to conclude, again, thank you for that. But what you just shared on the back end is what I'm concerned about. Because if I look at the prior year month actual, it's also lower, right? So that is trending, you know, it was lower last year compared to this month, right? But that's still, we're below 25%. And so I think that if we can do what you just shared on the back end in terms of sharing with us any expected large variances so we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
determine that, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I just want to say I do like the year-to-date, how you're doing it now. To me, it kind of gives a better picture or a bigger picture of where we stand. So I really do like this. And you still can compare the month actual or prior month actual. But I think as far as big picture, I do like the year-to-date and how you laid it out. So.
All right. Thank you.
Any other council members? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Adoption of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
there was someone who signed up last week to speak on a non-agenda item. They were placed on the agenda last week. Mistakenly, they were supposed to be on this week. So I'd like to suspend the rules to allow this speaker to speak this week.
Suspend or just add it to the agenda?
Just add it.
Just add it to the agenda.
Add this item to the agenda, the speaker.
All right, a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for waiver of the noise ordinance on February the 6th on Lanier Avenue, January the 27th on Dolphin Street, January 30th through the 17th on North Broad Street, February 15th at North Broad Street between St. Francis and Dolphin Street, March the 21st, the Mobile Skate Plaza, April the 24th on St. Francis Street, March the 6th through the 7th on the Shore Drive, July the 4th in Medal of Honor Park, and April the 5th on Ziegler Boulevard.
Moved.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Appeal passes.
Public hearing today is the public hearing to declare the structures at 21 Brucewood Drive, 301 Union Avenue, 957 Lyons Street, 1052 Persimmon Street, 4720 Oxford Drive, public nuisances and ordering them demolished.
This opened up the public hearing for these particular said item. Is there one person that would like to address the council on these items? If not, these public hearings, oh, yes. Yeah, microphone. Oh, then let's get a microphone. 1 second.
It's behind.
Good morning, City
Morning.
Council. My concern, 21 Bruce Wood.
Let's get your full name.
My name George Niles, Niles, come from the Overcoming Church of God, Pentecost, Food Pantry. We got your notice. What I want to do,
Which property is this for?
21 Bruce Wood Drive,
Which one is it? Bruce Wood,
Bruce Wood
the first.
West,
Okay.
and Bruce Wood subdivision.
Just to not to just really just cut you off, the council going to end up tabling this, so we got to start this whole process over. So we would not be voting on this today.
Okay, what I do, I go ahead and get started on it. I've been in the hospital, but we're gonna get somebody to secure the park.
Yeah,
We'll do
if-
that.
Yeah, make sure you just go ahead and pull your permits and everything, and as soon as you pull your permits, I promise you the city will not bother you unless you stop
Okay.
working. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present that would like to address the council on these particular said items? If not, these public hearings will close.
Today is a public hearing to consider the application of Zed LLC for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to operate a golf cart service.
This opened up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is there anyone present that would like to address the council on this item?
I have Austin and Denise St. Clair that signed in.
So you may come down to the podium.
Good morning. I am Austin St. Clair. This is my wife, Denise St. Clair. We reside at 1201 MacArthur Place Court in Mobile, Alabama. My wife and I own and operate Mob City Rides, a golf cart transportation company here in Mobile. We're here today to ask the City Council to not approve Zed LLC, the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity. Simply, there's not enough business for two companies like this to stay intact. We opened Mob City Rides 4 years ago in February, and this will be our 5th Mardi Gras. Over the past 4 years, we've worked Mardi Gras, we've worked weekends, and recently 7 days a week with the introduction of Amtrak in the area. I know this sounds great and that we are busy, but unfortunately, this is not the case. Yes, we have some busy days, but on whole, we are not busy all the time. For the year 2025, we moved 25,000 riders. Sounds great. 30% of our business happens during Mardi Gras. During the weeks, we have one driver who works a 6-hour shift and supplements with another driver for 2 or 3 hours. We don't operate most nights. On nights, we only have drivers Thursday through Saturday, and usually it's just 1 or 2. I know that's a lot of numbers, but for example, in January 2025, we had less than 1,000 rides. February and March, of course, we went up because of Mardi Gras, but then again in April, it was less than 1,000. This is important because we pay our drivers by the rides they take and pick up. There's actually a clause in our employee contract that states that if the driver has less than a certain number of rides, we'll pay them a flat rate for that shift. I wish that we could say after 4 years we don't have to do that anymore, but the fact is it's a regular occurrence. We have several carts that we don't even use during the weeks. The only time that we use all our carts is during Mardi Gras. And during this time, we have to compete with limo drivers, Ubers, Lyfts, and other taxi companies. Drivers come from all over during this time. Mob City Rides also employs retired individuals, and this could affect their income. This is not a huge moneymaker for Denise and I. It's simply a side job until I retire in 5 years. And then the plan is just to keep me out of the house and keep me busy. Again, we ask the City Council not to approve the request for a certificate of convenience and public necessity for Zed LLC. There's simply not enough business. Mob City Ride has become our own little family of extroverts that love Mobile as much as Denise and I am. We want to stay in business and continue to help Mobile grow. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the council? Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present that would like to address the council on this particular said item? If not, this public hearing is, oh, yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Jim Walker. I live at 602 Church Street. I wish I could come down and tell everybody that we didn't need competition on Dolphin Street when I opened in '87. competition is what keeps everything healthy and keeps everything going. And I just want to employ the people that can't get jobs. I got a ton of people on the street that are starving that, need the work, and that's who I was going to work with, felons and people that can't get employment. And that's just all I've got to say. I've got equipment for it. I'm going to get insured for it. So it's just competition's healthy.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr.
I just got a question. Could you tell me again what you said your plan, your intent was that your intent was to employ felons to transport people across our cities? Was that
people
what you
that
meant?
it's like I've got one kid that had a clonidine that was the wrong milligram, was down at Hangout Fest, and they've got a felon over that. I mean, some of the stuff's absurd. I'm not saying, murderers and rapists, which I've had plenty of those in my organization before the police have come and gotten. I've had one guy from America's Most Wanted stay with me 6 weeks in my home. I mean, I've had that element down here, which is not down here right now. But yes, I intend to background check and people who've got stupidity on their record that keeps them from voting and everything else. Yes, I'm going to employ those people.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Any other questions from the council? All right, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone else present that would like to address the council on this particular said item? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Jermaine Gaines.
Good morning. My name is Jermaine Gaines. I just wanted to thank the city and the councilmen and women for breaking some of the larger projects down to the neighborhood revitalization project. That way our company, small business, are able to do some of the sidewalk work, the ditch work, things of that, where we didn't have the opportunities for bonding reasons and insurance and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. And some more of those projects that we are interested in, whether that's larger concrete projects, vegetation, home remodeling, home building, we have the capabilities, the insurance, and the manpower, and we can partner with some of the prime contractors. So if y'all hear anything like that, just reach out and let us know. We're available. Thanks.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
Thank you so much for coming down, Mr. Gaines, and sharing that that things are working. We're moving forward in the city. I also want to give a big shout out to Archanique Kidd. She's right there. Thank you for your hard work. Can you stand up? Let everybody see you. Thank you so much. Let's give Archanique Kidd a big hand for her hard work and everything that she provides to the city. But it's people like that that put programs and put things in place to make it happen. So we're grateful for that it is working. So thank you so much for coming down and share that, Mr. Gaines.
Mr. President, I want to echo the sentiments of Councilman Penn. Ms. Kidd, thank you so much for making those connections and reaching out to ensure that we really are creating a Mobile for all. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
Matthew Miller.
Good morning. I'm Matthew Miller, and thank you for allowing me to address the council today. Each of you ran for office because you deeply care about this city. You want Mobile to succeed and to prosper, and like me, I believe you want it to be safe. But today I question whether our neighborhoods, our parks, and even our schools are truly safe places. And because we all care about the city, we must be honest. Mobile's facing a public safety crisis. Let me share a few facts to put this in perspective. 3 homicides so far this year, a shooting in Midtown that injured an MPD lieutenant, 2 violent incidents in our schools, including a shooting at Murphy, tens of thousands of misdemeanor warrants sitting unenforced, a court system overwhelmed and failing to keep up, and fewer than 500 sworn MPD officers on the force today, fewer than we had a decade ago. Does the council believe this is acceptable? I know the city and MPD leadership will point to statistics and claim that crime is down and that the current policing strategy is working. Yes, homicides dropped last year from 38 to 32, and any life saved matters, but context matters. Nationally, homicides declined by a much larger percentage. Mobile did not outperform the trend, we largely just followed it. That's not a public safety strategy, and it should not be used as evidence that the current approach is working. Crime statistics don't reflect what parents feel, what business owners experience, and what residents see every day on the streets. And when gun violence feels frequent and when shootings occur at our parks and at our schools, something is clearly broken. So can y'all tell me the number of outstanding warrants that we currently have? How many outstanding warrants are Part 1 crimes? And of the thousands of outstanding warrants, how many are not bench warrants? Because if a judge issues a bench warrant, is that an order or just a suggestion? So I ask a simple question. Is public safety truly the number one priority of this city's government? Because it's hard to claim public safety is our top priority when MPD remains understaffed, officers work out of an antiquated and deteriorating headquarters, warrants go unenforced, we have judges that routinely set low bail for violent crimes, suspects remain on the streets for days or weeks after serious offenses. Just look at the Murphy shooting. And young officers leave MPD for other agencies because leadership has allowed a toxic culture that drives good people away. Mobile, we're at an inflection point. The number one responsibility of any government is to protect its citizens. And when people are afraid to live, work, and raise families here, our government, our city has failed to do its job. Let me be clear, this is not an attack on our rank and file officers, judges, educators, or prosecutors, many which are doing difficult jobs with limited resources. This is about leadership and priorities. So let me ask y'all one final question. Can you show this community the evidence that public safety is truly the number one priority of the city? Because leadership...
I'd like to use in 1 minute.
You have one more minute.
Perfect. So that evidence that I'm looking for should show what's being done today to address gun violence. How nearly $80 million in funding for MPD and crime-fighting technology is being measured for results. What real progress is being made on a new police headquarters that's been needed for years. What specific steps are being taken to recruit and retain officers for MPD. And how repeat offenders are being removed from our streets. Because leadership isn't measured by how we respond after the next tragedy. It's measured by whether we act before the next one occurs. Mobile's a great city. I love it. I live here, born and raised, and it can be a safe city, but that will only happen when we make public safety and crime fighting the priority it must be. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
that was a long list of questions that I'm not prepared to give you the
Oh,
answers to
and I
right now.
understand, but I've emailed y'all most of these questions, and I'll be happy to email another summary as well.
Please do, and we'd love to try to get some of the answers. I know that some of the answers probably can be shared with you, but if you could
I
get
mean,
them-
all answers should be able to be shared, especially on warrants.
Yes, absolutely. Can you get that list of questions to our Public Safety Department? so
Yes,
that
I'll
they'll
send it
respond?
to every member on this council.
Thank you, Matthew.
Any other questions?
Mr. Penn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Miller, for coming. I did receive your email. I don't know if you received a response back from me.
I haven't. I got one from Ms. Ingram this morning,
Okay.
and then I talked to Councilman Reynolds and Councilman Wood on the phone.
And so we did the information that you sent. We did send that over to public safety, our director, and I believe he will be having. He probably answered the majority of the questions, but we'll be able to send that information to you. I think it's vital that our constituents have an opportunity to come down and share their concerns.
Yep.
And
I appreciate it.
And I think that we always can do better.
Absolutely.
I mean, anybody, I can do better. You can do better. We all can do better. And so to get your feedback and see what ways, but we also want to share some things that you probably don't know that's been taking place. And I look forward to getting that information to you as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Murphy.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I want to echo his sentiments, but I also want to say this to you. We know that I don't care where you are, you can do better. And so we want to receive those questions so that we can look at what's happening. But I also want to state that and make it clear that we're not just waiting on a study or a task force. There's some actions that are taking place, and we want to get that out to the public because perception is everything. And so thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we look forward to responding back. Thank you.
Can I add one more quick question to that? Or not a question, but a statement. We have to address our police headquarters. That's been on this list for years. And I don't know if y'all have been down there, but it's falling apart. The marble's fallen off the front of the facade. The building's in terrible shape. It's not modern, it's not efficient, and I don't think it has enough space for our police force. And it's a shame that I have to come down here and ask y'all to make that a priority.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Mr. President, I would like to have a response from the administration. We got some information this morning that goes through many of the questions that Mr. Miller has brought to us. It's not that we don't know or that the council doesn't care, but so much of what you were asking for has been in the progress for a long time, and there are things that we are working on that you just may not be aware of. A lot of people see things from maybe a 1,000-foot view, but don't know what is happening actually down on the ground. So it's very easy to criticize. And some of what you said was a criticism. I mean, toxic environment, those sorts of things. We understand we can do better. We can always do better on everything we do. But there's a lot going on, and I would like to hear from our public safety executive director. We also have information on warrants and on the courts. So there's just a lot out there that, we think we can answer to, that will provide some help in understanding where we are as a city. And remember, it is the administration and the council. The council doesn't do anything on its own. We work with the administration on making the priorities and spending of the budget. So if we can hear from you, Mr. Graves, that would be great. And anybody else who needs to provide any answers.
Thank you. And I greatly appreciate all concerns relative to public safety, because public safety is important to all of us. Taking that into consideration, yes, we have been tirelessly working on making a number of improvements that were mentioned by Mr. Miller. Unbeknownst to him, he is unaware of. But I will say that as it relates to crime, and Chief Jackson's here, he can speak to that as well. But public safety remains a top priority for us. Public safety accounts for more than 32% of our city's $416 million budget. We are currently, City of Mobile has increased public safety funding every year for more than a decade. Violent crime declined in 2025 compared to 2024, including reductions in homicides, robberies, gunshot, assaults, and shootings into homes and vehicles. Part 1 crimes have also dropped more than 60% since 2018. Crime reductions accelerated after 2018 and have continued consistently through 2024. These declines reflect targeted enforcement and intelligence-led policing focused on repeat offenders. Mr. Miller did speak to a growing number of concerns relative to active warrants. I think that's a concern for everyone when we think about and we hear warrants. However, warrants in this sense are vaguely taken out of context, in the sense that we do not have active violent felons that are unaccounted for as it relates to pursuing and arresting, getting off our streets. That is not happening. What we do have are oftentimes cases that are adjudicated in the courts, where people are in court for fines that they have to pay, or other fines that are related to court that sometimes they don't pay. And because they don't pay, they don't show up, that bench warrant is issued. That person is at that point still dealing with that active warrant. The active warrant does not resolve once we actually arrest them and they go through the criminal justice process or the judicial process. So many of the numbers that are referred to are numbers that have been adjudicated, but they're still in the court system because they haven't paid their fines or they haven't come to court. It's hard to speak to every question that was brought up, but I'm more than happy to sit down with Mr. Miller and explain some other things that we're currently doing, even as it relates to us actively looking for a better location for our police headquarters. These are not things that are going unaddressed. These are things that we don't talk publicly about, but these are things that internally we are seeking to find resolution for, because we care about our officers. Chief Jackson's here, he can speak to any other additions that I may have left out, but we're more than happy to sit down with Mr. Miller and anyone else to explain the work that is currently being done to improve the deliverables of the police department, as well as the accommodations in terms of of housing for our police officers.
Just as a follow-up, if you will, on the warrants, are we talking circuit court as well as municipal?
Municipal,
Mostly municipal,
yes.
okay. On the recruiting of police officers, that may be more for Chief Jackson, but I know that we have another class coming up very soon that is graduating, so we might want to talk a little bit about how recruiting is going, how many officers are coming in, how many officers we're graduating, and then also maybe the offset is how many are leaving every year, because I know that that has been a problem in the past. And Chief, if you've got that information, maybe you can share that.
Yes, ma'am. I don't have you the numbers of how many we lost last year, but what I can tell you is the mayor and this council approved us 24 new positions in this new budget. Right now, we are 21 down, so we've actually hired some laterals that have filled a few of the positions that you all granted us. We have a class that's going to start in March of 22 that most have already been pre-hired. We have 6 more that will come on the payroll in about on the next pay period. So for the first time, and I can't tell you how many years, MPD is going to hit their budgeted strength. Now, we can talk about what's been budgeted in the past. There's been high budgets in the past that we never achieved, but this is going to be the first time in recent memory that we are actually going to achieve the budgeted strength that you all have given us. We have a very good recruiting campaign, and as a matter of fact, just as short as 2 years ago, there were candidates that may have been given a chance that weren't quite to our level that now we can rule out and move on to better candidates due to the work that Tony McCarron is doing and the quality of applicants that we are receiving. And that's largely based in point to the public safety plan that you all helped us get passed with Chief Barber and Mayor Stimpson. That has allowed us to be able to hire up to the abilities we are today. So for the first time in, like I said, recent memory, we're going to hit our budgeted strength and hopefully be coming back to ask you for more.
If I can add one other thing, and that would be this. Mr. Miller did mention prevention. Prevention is key for us. That is a major priority for us. We don't want to just respond to crime. We want to prevent crime. We want to understand why it's happening. We want to understand the social determinants that create the problems that we have. No one wants to be a victim of crime. So yes, we are trying to figure out ways to prevent while enforce. That's a balancing act that is very intentional, but we are delivering on that, and we continue to improve on those deliverables.
One more follow-up, if you don't mind, Commander Graves. In some of the instances that we have heard of lately where there have been shootings, some homicides, is the trend not going up in domestic-related shootings rather than, I guess, any of the other types of homicides? When you look at it?
That's a great question. I will tell you this, and Chief Jackson can also chime in. Our number of crimes that are assault related, gun violence, are more interpersonal crimes.
Personal crimes.
Personal crimes, where we have people who know one another, who are engaged in conflict. Those are things that we can't predict. What we're trying to do is figure out ways to engage early on as it relates to conflict resolution behaviors that we hope that people deploy themselves or employ themselves, as opposed to us having to respond when they don't know how to resolve issues. That is the bulk of our crime. We don't have people indiscriminately being killed in Mobile because they go downtown. We have people who know one another who are committing offenses because they are unable to resolve conflict.
Mr. President?
Mr. Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as you can see, Chief Jackson even just stated that they're at that point of meeting that budget, and they're going to be probably coming back and asking for more. One thing I can say about this council, we have never said no to public safety. As 32% of our budget goes to public safety. Anytime MPD, from fire, whatever, whoever needs it, this council have supported any initiative. And I also want to give a big shout out to you. You mentioned about youth. Every Friday, I've never seen this before, Bridge the Gap. I have an opportunity to go speak to young people, and they bring them in and do exercises with them. And it just blew me away. Every school, just in the Mobile County area, even if they're not in the city limits, they have an opportunity to come get information and learn. And I can't even count how many times I've been this year on a Friday morning, and they out there from 9 to 1 o'clock, learning and building relationships. So I just want to commend you all, Director Graves, Chief Jackson, for the hard work that you all are doing. It's just amazing to see where we have grown, and whatever this council can do to support public safety, we will do it. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yeah, Mr. Reynolds.
this is a very timely discussion. We received the report from Judge Pipes regarding there were some questions regarding circuit courts, district attorney's office, I believe. We received a report from the circuit court, which was the judicial weighted caseload 3-year average. And they do it by minutes. How many minutes? The workload by minutes. According to this summary, it says that the city of Mobile, or Mobile County, is currently in need of 4.12 additional judges. 4.12, that's pretty substantial. It's a substantial shortcoming that we have. Additionally, the city of Mobile operates its municipal court, provides the prosecutors, the judges. We added in our last term additional judge positions so that we can move these cases along, sort of catching up with COVID backlogs. But we've also been allocating funds to the district attorney's office, I think at a rate of about $500,000 a year for the past 3 to 5 years. And the county has been supplementing the district attorney's office as well. If we were to receive 4 additional circuit judges for Mobile County, the district attorney's office doesn't have the capacity to do it currently to prosecute those cases. And a lot of it appears to be budgetary. The way that the district attorney's office is funded is predominantly on things like bad checks or forfeitures. And the amount of money they receive from the state doesn't even come close to covering their actual budget, where they're required now to have these supplements from us municipally and the county to hire enough prosecutors to prosecute the case. And I think it's a structural problem that exists in the state, and it's very timely because our state legislators are in session. And this issue needs to be elevated to their attention to address this issue immediately so that the district attorney has the resources he needs to prosecute the cases that he has, as well as affecting this 4 additional judge problem that we have, so that we can move cases along. I think Mr. Miller raised in some of his emails that it shouldn't take 3 years to prosecute someone for murder. And that is absolutely true. It should not take that long to, reach a prosecution. And so there's some structural issues that exist at the state that we're trying to fight with and trying to deal with by allocating our budget funds to supplement these organizations that the state should be funding. But they're just not doing it at the rate that they should. So I look forward to working with it. We're going to respond to your questions. I think it's a worthwhile thing for us to respond, and everybody understands the field as it exists and the problems that we're trying to deal with as a city, county, state, so that we can all sort of come to the table and find some resolution to it.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Again, I want to thank Chief Jackson and Director Grace for the feedback as it relates to our staffing. I just want to seek clarification because perception is everything. We think about enforcement. We know that that's multifaceted. It deals with personnel, DA, judges, and so forth. But, we must have the law enforcement, the officers to make this happen. So you spoke to the fact that we're almost at our 2014-2016 level of staffing. And then you went on to say 21 out of the 24, I think you have brought on board. I want to confirm where we are in terms of the budgeted number of 516 officers.
Yes, ma'am, that is our budgeted number at 516. As we stand today, we have 495, but we have 22 that will begin in March. in the police academy. In that number includes the ones that will be graduating on February 3rd already, but then we have 22 more that are going to start right after Mardi Gras.
So then, is it safe to say that we have exceeded that? Because when I add this up, we're looking at 517. We're going to exceed that.
We may go one over budget, but we have the money in arrears from what we haven't used this year to supplement that until such time we can come before council and request more officers.
Again, thank you for that, because perception does allow us to have these ideas of what's happening and not the reality of it, right? So if you look at 2015 data, 10 years ago, you would see that those numbers would definitely place us back there, but also our enforcement and numbers were better. So I look forward to seeing the new data based off of the personnel that we've secured. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Madam Clerk.
David Clark.
Good morning, Mr. President, City Council members, and administration. My name is David Clark with Visit Mobile. Mobile tourism in 25 was remarkable in many, many ways. Our destination now welcomes almost 3.5 million visitors who spend $1.9 billion, up almost $600 million since a few years ago, and employing 23,000 tourism-related jobs. You have the 26 Tourism Roadmap, which highlights 2025 results and looks into 2026. There are many metrics listed in the roadmap, including number of visitors, lodging metrics, convention room nights, marketing and promotions, destination development, partnership initiatives, and much, much more. We value align these strategies and resources to support what is coming next. This past October, we announced the return of full-time cruising for Mobile, the first time since 2019. Mobile proved itself as a cruising destination, solidifying the Carnival Valor to home port in Mobile beginning in May of 27. The Valor is the largest cruise ship Mobile has ever had, holding approximately 1,200 more passengers and crew members than the Carnival Spirit. Our cruise footprint continues to expand with American Cruise Line Symphony ship starting in March of this year. We will be a port of call. The Symphony will bring 150 passengers into our city to explore the many attractions and restaurants, and it does not stop there. American Cruise Lines added 7 itineraries for this coming November and December as well. In 2025, for the first time in 20 years, we welcomed Amtrak's Mardi Gras service passenger railback with the very best Gulf Coast itineraries. Ridership has reached 60,000 passengers in just the first 4.5 months. The key thing, meaning that we are on trend to exceed more than double the original projections on annual ridership. The City Council approved the renewal of the Tourism Improvement District in 25, the first renewal of the TID in the state. Thank you for that. This initiative, this innovative public-private partnership escalates our ability to promote our brand pillars like our history, our arts, our culture, our culinary, our eco, and our Mardi Gras like never before. The TID also increases our ability to market cruising, Amtrak, and new developments like our Mobile International Airport and our new arena. We are strategically positioned to capitalize on Mobile's continued momentum. We are grateful to the City Council, the mayor, his team, and our hospitality community. Our partnership and shared vision ensures our destination success. So thank you so much.
Council.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
David, I just want to tell you thank you to you and your team. I believe when you look at the numbers, we hit 3.5 million this year. The largest, I don't know if this is large ever, but I know since 2014, we haven't had numbers like this. And I believe it's because of Visit Mobile marketing and getting information out and traveling and letting people know about the city of Mobile. And because we have a jewel here. So I just want to commend you and your team for your excellent work.
Thank you.
Is this available for the public can get to their hands to it or what?
It's on the
So we're
website,
about-
mobile.org.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful presentation. And pretty much we need this for visitors to actually know exactly what's going on in the city of Mobile. We actually was having a discussion on yesterday and was talking about how many great things that's, in District 7, District 3, and other districts. But we just need to make sure that we tell our story and let people know, especially the citizens, know exactly what we have going on. But this is a great roadmap and everything.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you so much.
Vincent Marks.
Is Vincent Mark, Senior present?
Monica Taylor.
Good morning. How you doing? My name is Monica Taylor. I live in District 4. No one is above the law. It begins and it ends with us today. No one is above the law. That's the foundation of Mobile, Alabama, has been my merits and is the foundation of my morals, and this is my home away from home. We need to work together on concerns on various issues of our community safety and to hear all individual citizen concerns about law enforcement and the systematic system needs to be corrected towards the racial equality of all other that lives here in Mobile, Alabama. The citizen of Mobile, Alabama deserves the best and most that this city brings to each of our lives. University of Laws for the notion that laws applies to all individuals regardless of their society status, wealth, race, or political power. There's nothing that's everything a person is subject to legal standards and consequences. We should get the same protection against discrimination and ensure the margin group have the same legal protection and standards and others. When law enforcement and judicial system are operating under this principle, it helps dismantle equality. It begins and ends with us today. Make this place a better place to live again. I want to see better fairness, justice, and equality, to listen to the wrong and make the right, and admit we messed up. The foundation of our society rests on the backs and principles that no one, regardless of race, emphasizes that the foundation of our society rests on the principle that no one, regardless of race or status, is above the law. The universal law and protection against discrimination, accountability for all. I, Monica Taylor, is here to remind you, you work for the cities of Mobile, Alabama. They help to understand that this is a concept hold that the public official and authority figures are not exempt from the law. Remind you, I promote accountability, ensure that individual in power faces consequences for any wrongdoing, thereby reinforcing the idea that no one exploit their position for unfair advantage. Encourage citizens and confident. By holding the notion that no one is above the law, the citizen will trust and believe in the legal system of Mobile, Alabama. We should trust the process, the essential for encouragement community members to stand up against injustice and participate in civil life, knowing there is rights are protected. Fostering social justice, as I, Monica Taylor, is here to rally the call for social justice and movement and advocate and equality and treatment and legal reinforcement. It galvanizes in an effort and addressing issues such brutality.
Good time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance is held over. 64004, consider rezoning of property located at 909 Government Street from R1 and RB to RB.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ordinance passed.
Resolutions held over. 01060, authorize agreement with the State of Alabama Department of Coastal Natural Resources for the Go Mesa project entitled Brooklyn by the Bay Southern Activation Zone. City of Mobile. 01061, authorized agreement with the State of Alabama Department of Coastal and Natural Resources for the Go Mesa project entitled Mobile Riverfront Park Enhancements Phase 3, City of Mobile. 08062, approve item award bid for janitorial supplies. 08068, approve purchase order to Stivers Ford for Ford Crew Cab pickup trucks. 08069, approve purchase order to Sunbelt Fire for fire bunker coats, pants, and boots. 09070, reallocate funds from 2025 citywide bridge maintenance to biannual bridge inspection. 13071, authorize change order number 1 with Michael Baker International for US 45 streetscape improvements. 21072, authorize first contract renewal with amendments to MS4 Stormwater Management Professional Services with Michael Baker International, Inc.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, 01-060, please put me down as a sponsor, please.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
Did I do 6007? I'm sorry, I missed one. 60074, authorized settlement agreement and release of claims.
So moved.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pass.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 03078 through 6107.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of these resolutions as read.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
03078, appoint Skylar G. White to the Mobile City County Youth Council. 60084, approve award of special bonus to the firefighter of the month. 60085 through 6107, determine appropriations to Hope for All Gulf Coast, the University of South Alabama Jag Owls, Oakley Place Property Owners Association, serve a public purpose, and approve payment.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
40079 through 40083, declaring the structures at 21 Brucewood Drive West, 301 Union Avenue, 957 Lion Street, 1052 Persimmon Street, 4720 Oxford Drive, public nuisances, and ordering them demolished.
Motion to table.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item table.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 08089 through 21090.
By council rules, these resolutions will be laid over for 1 week.
Resolutions being introduced, 08091 through 01106.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 08-091, 092, 94, 93, 94.
No, not 93.
I'm sorry, 93 is not there. 92, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, and 101, with the rest of these resolutions being laid over for 1 week.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
08091, approved purchase order to Temple Inc. for speed check radar speed signs. 08092, approved purchase order to Harold's LLC for fertilizer and herbicide. 08094, approved purchase order to Scott Allen Construction. 08095, approved purchase order to Harris Godwin for stormwater. Oh, these are all stormwater drainage and debris removal. 08096, approved purchase order to Prime Professional Concrete Pumping and Finishing, LLC. 08097, approved purchase order to Secure Land and Tree, LLC. 08098, approved purchase order to Butler Complete Services, LLC, for storm drainage and debris removal. 08099, approve purchase order to Invasive Management Services, Inc. for storm drainage and debris removal. 080100 and 08101, approve purchase order to the Connor Group LLC for rental of a telescopic bucket truck for urban forestry and also for the electrical department.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution passes.
Oh. I have two more. Am I reading those? Are we taking, okay. Announcements.
District 6, Councilman Woods.
No announcements, Mr. President.
District 2, Councilwoman Ingram.
No announcements, Mr. President.
District 4, Councilman Reynolds. District 5, Councilman Fleming.
No announcements.
District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry to break this, but but I do want to recognize my uncle Travis Miller. He's up here. Thank you so much for coming today. Good to see you. This week is Senior Bowl. I think the city of Mobile is truly blessed to have the Senior Bowl in the city of Mobile. We have players all across this United States of America to come to the city of Mobile. You have NFL coaches, you have agents, you have so much coming, and we just invite everyone to come out, celebrate at the Hancock Whitney Stadium at South Alabama. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a little chilly, so bundle up, but I believe it's still some great football weather. Also, I'm just asking everyone, while we're talking about football, we had a great coach that was with the Tomerville Rattlers, the transition. So keep LeBaron Thomas family in your prayers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Penn. District 7, Vice President Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. President. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, we will hold a Public Safety Committee meeting. Today, we are looking at ordinances specifically related to enforcement by animal control for dogs and for related fines. This will be a working meeting. There will be no speakers unless a council member requests that of someone in the audience. So again, that will be at 1 o'clock on the 9th floor.
Anything from administration?
Nothing from the administration.
Motion to adjourn.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? All in